church too. Do stuff she likes, but when you get there, use Turo and get like a Ferrari or a Bentley or something like that. And that's what I do. They're cheap. Like we had a Bentley for $100 a day. You know.
You to have hope until we're old, to stay faithful to this love. One day at a time.
How do you keep your romance alive?
Good question. That's another reason to have family around and to trust family. Then they can be babysitters and help with the kids. So you can go out when you're young and you're first having kids. I had mine very close together. And I mean, there's pros and cons to that. You're very, very busy for a while, but then it does get less busy
then they're all
later
gone.
on. Yeah, and they're like all gone. Yeah. They grew up pretty quickly. It doesn't seem like it. And
They do.
They are a lot of work. But yeah, you can have good, the church, could probably recommend some people to watch your kids. Church, even the YMCA has programs, you watch your kids on certain nights. So yeah, just a bit of ingenuity, see if your husband will plan a date. Or you. Doesn't really matter, I guess. But yeah, go on dates. Be together. Talk about things, maybe even other than the kids. And keeping the romance life.
And being involved in each other's different activities. Or showing interest. I think that's
in
important.
The interest, yeah. So say your husband has an interest in something and you don't really have an interest in it to begin with, but you can develop an interest and you might really, really like it. Like F1 racing. He's like into the F1 racing, the Formula One race cars. And so I just got into it and put my attention towards that. And then I began to really like it because your love, your desire, your interest follows your attention. So whatever you're paying attention to is what you're going to be interested in. You just keep at it. And that's a connection. You want as many connections to your spouse as possible. So F1 racing, we have music in common too.
We do.
Both play.
We get to play
together at church. And so that keeps a romance alive. And, you're doing something together. And, I watched the sunrise this morning. That's one thing you can count on. The sun is going to rise and it's beautiful. You can sit out there and drink your coffee and tea and watch the sunrise. And talk. Talking is really good. It's important to talk.
You're talking about shared interests. I remember for a while there, I was like, I think I'm going to watch football. And you'd say, oh, you don't like football.
You don't like football.
You don't like football. That's funny.
He doesn't.
But no, she is the best at getting involved in stuff with me. Like I used to. Well, she didn't race motorcycles with me, but she would go out to the races into the desert because we'd go out and spend the night in the desert the whole weekend, race motorcycles. The girls got into that. And then we got into mountain biking and she actually got into it with me. She was, my best friend and me, there was a whole group of us guys, but his wife, Pam, and Lori became friends and they would mountain bike. And they would go up in the mountains because we'd do it after work every day and we had mountains behind us. No, there's no mountains in Kansas. I'm sorry, you guys.
Well, they were hills.
They call it single track.
They weren't real mountains, I don't think. I think it'd be considered hills.
It was a 1,000-foot climb, so it was a good workout. Yeah. So we would do that after work, and her and Pam would go up and they'd pray. They did it. So she wasn't necessarily doing it with me or keeping up with me or doing all the races with me, but she developed the interest in it. And then when we went to races, 24-hour races and stuff and camping and stuff, it was and we'd take the whole family. So you got involved in that with me. So that was fun. And then like you said, the music, we've always done that.
He's going to Karis now online. I took the first year. Now he's taking the first year.
Yep.
So it's just another thing to connect, a shared interest.
She loves going to conventions. Christian
like going to
convention.
Christian convention.
I mean, I'm like, oh.
He loves it too. He just doesn't know it.
But I do. I go with her. I go with her. I have fun.
He does.
Yeah.
So
what we do, guys, this is what I do. If we fly somewhere, vacation, this works too. Do stuff she likes, but when you get there, use Turo and get like a Ferrari or a Bentley or something like that. And that's what I do. They're cheap. Like we had a Bentley for $100 a day, and of course now I want one, but yeah, so I get sports cars and stuff. And so while we're on vacation doing that, whether it's a convention or whatever, I have this awesome car to drive around. So that's like, yeah, we have fun together.
Yeah, we do. We have lots of fun together.
So I think having fun together, and then what was that thing we were looking at? I think you need to tell her that you love her. Your words, again, are very powerful. So you need to say, I love you. You need to say that a lot. It's not like, well, I told her I loved her when we got married, and if I change my mind, I'll let her know. That doesn't work.
No, I like words. Words are my love language.
And they don't cost anything. Like
and they're cheap.
Your words don't cost anything. You're not spending money.
It's like a diamond ring or a whatever.
Like one of our daughters, well, maybe all of them, but I know Chrissy loves gifts. She likes things like that. But
yeah, love languages. Learn your partner's love language.
But words are powerful.
Then they'll feel like you love them.
Yeah.
Because you went to a little bit of trouble to find their love language.
Yeah. If you don't like where you're at, it's because of the words you spoke yesterday. Where you're at today is a result of words you've spoken in the past. So if you don't like where you're at, stop saying what you've been saying. Change it. Start speaking where you want to be. Lori listened to Terry Seville. She was listening to her for a while, and she said something that just stuck with me. It was like so powerful. She says, what I do?
She has this voice.
She sounds like me. Well, what she does is, after she says something, if she can say, and that's the way I like it, and that's something good. So what we did with each other, because we were, in harmony, we were working on this, and I would say something, and she'd go, and that's the way you like it? I'm like, no, okay. So, okay, I'm not going to say that, So say what you want, Pastor Roger, our pastor in California, told this story about a guy came to him and said, Pastor, I don't love my wife anymore. It's not working. I've been trying this it's been over a year now. I just don't love her. We need to get a divorce or some serious counseling or something because, our marriage is done. And he says, okay, well, we can start counseling, but we're going to give it 1 month. And this is what you've got to do. You've got to do this. If you do this one thing, then I'll start counseling with you in a month. Every time you think about your wife, I want you to say out loud, I love my wife. And the guy goes, but I don't love my wife. He says, I know you don't love your wife, but I want you to say you do love your wife. And so they kind of went back and forth. He says, but I don't love my wife. I'd be lying. He says, well, no, you're not lying. You're confessing, this is what God's will is for you. You want to love your wife. You used to love your wife, right? Yeah, I used to love her. We got married. So he says, I want you to just say this. If you commit to saying that, then we'll start counseling in a month. So the guy said, okay, I'm going to do it. So every time he thought about his wife, every time, it went through his mind about how bad this is, or this is horrible, he would say, I love my wife. And in about 3 weeks, he comes up to the pastor smiling. He says, Pastor, we're not going to need that counseling anymore. I love my wife. And the pastor goes, yeah, I know. And he goes, no, really, I really love my wife. I love her now. So all he did was change his words, what he was saying, and then he had it. Jesus said, if you speak to the mountain, believe in your heart, don't doubt in your heart, believe what you say will come to pass. You will have whatsoever you say. So words. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of your tongue. So saying I love you is powerful. It's not just light, flippant thing.
Yeah. Well,
And
he made the decision to do that.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought it was worth saving because they had kids and stuff. So, okay, I'll do
Yeah. Why?
this stupid thing. I'll do it.
Yeah. It's not that hard. It's just simple.
Yeah.
And I love my husband too.
Yes, and the opposite can work too. You
Yeah.
could say you don't love your wife. If you keep saying that, that's what you're going to have. So you have to be able to say, I love my wife, and that's the way I like it. All my
Amen.
bills are paid. We're out of debt, and that's the way I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm never going to be able to pay all these bills, and that's the way I like it. No, that's not what I want. So don't say that. So I think words, and
Change your life.
it will change your life, and you'll want to be together. You'll want to hang out. You know, like I said, those friends of mine that couldn't stand their wives, didn't want to be around them. If they would just say, my wife's my best friend, I like being around my wife, they would change it. They would change themselves. They would change the whole situation. So I think,
Amen. Yep. And the attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
Super important. We don't want to forget all that we have. We're so blessed in this country. We live like kings and queens. We drive in cars. We're in warm houses. We have indoor toilets. We have
That's nice.
water. We have so much. And,
Yeah.
and if we remember all
having
that
a
God
thankful heart.
has given us and the blessings we have in this country, then our attitude will be so much better. And will be more fun to be around.
Should I tell that story about?
Create more romance.
Should I tell that story about Greg Moore, the woman that
Greg Moore?
is the woman they was counseling that thought her husband was having an affair?
I don't remember that one.
Pastor Greg, this woman came to him, Pastor Greg, I'm worried. My husband's having an affair. I just know he is. And he goes, oh, well. So they're sitting down with her because he doesn't come to church. Sitting down with her and him and his wife, Greg, Pastor Greg and his wife, because he's counseling a woman, sitting down with her. And the wife asks, well, how's things going at home? How's this? And they get to intimacy. Well, how's the intimacy? And, well, it's okay, I guess. And Greg says, well, you know what you need to do, honey? Take her out to like Victoria's Secret or something. Get her a little nothing to wear. And, spark up their marriage a little bit. And the lady says, oh, well, that wouldn't work. No, my husband's never seen me naked. And he went, what? So, yeah, don't be like that. Because men are, their triggers are sight. That's why pornography is so rampant with men. I've heard it's 8 out of 10 men. I don't know. I hope it's not that high that are into pornography. But they're moved by what they see. And he legally only has the right to see your body. No other woman's body. So make sure he can see your body and take care of it. Make it nice. You can do that. Take care of him. And keep him so worn out, he can't go out and have another affair. Okay? Right?
Yeah.
Yes. I know he's not having an affair today. So, now women, I think because they are refined and they're made from man, they're like a little different. They're not triggered by sight so much as emotions and their mind. And so I think like pornography for a woman is almost like the romantic novels. She in her mind, her imagination can have an affair with a guy. So that's just as bad. So don't do that. Control your mind. The Bible says whatsoever things are true, honest, just, lovely, pure, good report. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on those things. And if they don't line up with those things, don't think about them. Don't dwell on them. Don't let your imagination go. Dad Hagen said something really powerful. He says thoughts are like birds flying over your head. You can't keep the birds from flying over your head, but you can keep them from building a nest in your hair. So don't take those thoughts and think about them.
Yeah.
Don't allow them, because you're a spirit. That's why I said spirit, soul, and body. You're a spirit. Your spirit needs to be strong, powerful, grown up, eating the meat of the word and working out and being strong, because your spirit will tell your soul, your mind, will, and emotions. It will control those. And that's what you need. You have to control those. Your mind's crazy.
Yeah.
Your mind is insane. If you let it go off, it's insane. So you have to control it. You have to control your thoughts, and you can. So
Yeah,
your
God's word.
imaginations, yep.
God's word is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, dividing between the soul and the spirit and the joints and the marrows. And it can discern what's right and what's wrong. So it's vital that you're in God's word every day.
Yeah.
Read it out loud, read it to each other, meditate, think about it. It will save your life, not just your marriage.
Yeah.
And be thankful for it. So the husband can help the wife, so she's not into the romantic novels, the soap operas, all the movie stars. What are they doing? It's like by showing an interest in his wife and
Yeah.
listening to her
And taking her out on dates,
saying
doing
nice
things.
saying nice things, appreciating her. And that helps her to keep from going to womanly pornography, sort of,
Yeah, that
the
imagining.
novels.
Yeah,
Yeah, she needs to feel.
because Jesus said to lust after a woman is the same as committing adultery. So right there, he says if it's in your mind, that's the same as doing it. So both men and women. So we need to control that. Keep your marriage pure. Spend time with each other. Have fun. Laugh a lot. We laugh a lot.
Well, some people might say,
together.
I don't have the time. You do. You have the time. I mean, it's crazy how much time people spend on their phones and on TV.
What do they call it? Death scrolling?
And things that really aren't worth a lot. So we do have the time to spend with each other. And, you believe God for that time, that he will show you how to make that time. You say, God, you gave me this man. You want me to succeed in this, just show me. And he will. He'll show you what time and how to be romantic and have fun together.